All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're building the ultimate strategic guide to help you conquer one of the toughest exams you'll face, the GSAT English test. You know that feeling, right? You look at the vocabulary, the long passages, the tricky grammar, and it just feels overwhelming, like you're lost in a maze. Well, you're definitely not alone. Think of this explainer as your personal map to get through that maze and come out with an amazing score. So, here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to use a strategic map. The entire exam can really be broken down into 3 core skills that all build on each other. First, there's word power. That's your foundation. Then comes reading power, where you use those words to understand texts. And finally, writing power, where you really show your command of the language. Let's start with word power. Look, this is your base, and it is absolutely crucial for 3 specific parts of the test: the vocabulary questions, the cloze tests, and the banked cloze. Having a strong vocabulary isn't just a nice little bonus. It's literally the key that unlocks points all over the exam. Okay, so here's the first big secret, and honestly, this is a total game changer. The vocabulary questions are not random. I repeat, they are not random. Every single word they're going to test you on comes straight from the official high school word list. That means no surprises. Now, this is where it gets really powerful. This chart shows you exactly where to aim your efforts. The data is clear. Words from level 4 and level 5 of that official list show up way more often than anything else. So instead of trying to learn every word under the sun, you can get the biggest bang for your buck by just focusing on these 2 levels. But listen, true word power goes way beyond just memorizing flashcards. It's about really understanding how words work in the wild. You gotta know their other, less common meanings. You need to learn collocations, the words that just sound right together. And definitely keep an eye on vocabulary from current events, because those words pop up all the time. And this right here, this is a perfect example of why that nuance is everything. Take neglect and ignore. They seem kind of similar, right? But they're critically different. To neglect something is usually unintentional, like you just forgot. But to ignore something, that's a deliberate choice. The GSAT loves to test you on these tiny but super important differences. Okay, so you've got this solid foundation of word power. Now what? Well, let's see how it actually plays out in the cloze test. This section is the perfect blend of vocabulary and grammar working together in context. So, inside the cloze test, you're going to face 2 kinds of questions. Local items are pretty straightforward. You can usually find the answer just by looking at that one sentence. They test things like verb tenses or common phrases. But, and this is important, the trend is shifting more and more towards global items, where you have to read the sentences around the blank to get the logic and flow of the whole passage. And that idea of understanding the bigger picture leads us perfectly into our second core skill, reading power. This is where we zoom out from single words and sentences to mastering entire passages. This is the key to crushing the reading comprehension, paragraph coherence, and that new integrated reading section. I want you to burn this into your brain. Your goal in the reading section is not to slowly translate every single word. Your job is to be a detective, strategically hunting for the specific information you need to answer the question. It's a complete mindset shift, and it'll save you so much time. And if you're going to be a detective, you need a toolkit. Here are your 3 essential tools. Skimming is when you read fast just to get the main idea, perfect for those "what's the best title" questions. Scanning is when you're hunting for specific keywords, like names or dates. And inference, that's the art of reading between the lines to figure out what the author is really trying to say. All right, let's take those detective skills and use them on one of the most feared sections, paragraph coherence. So many students see this as a total guessing game, but it's not. It's a logic puzzle, and every puzzle has a solution. Here is a clear, repeatable method. First, just scan the answer options to get a clue about the topic. Second, as you read the paragraph, highlight all the connector words, like however or therefore, and pronouns like this or they. These are your clues. Third, match keywords. And finally, lock in the easy answers first, then use process of elimination for the tough ones. Now for a quick pro tip on the newest section, integrated reading. You'll get different sources, right? Maybe an article and a chart. Your entire job is just to connect the dots between them. And the best way to do this when you're stressed for time is to just quickly sketch a little graphic organizer, like a simple timeline, to see how all the info fits together. All right, we're on the home stretch. Let's talk about our final area, writing power. This is all about the translation section. Yeah, it's only 2 sentences, but it is worth a ton of points that you absolutely cannot afford to lose. The core idea here is what I call the sentence defense strategy. Your goal is not to write some beautiful, complex, award-winning sentence. No, your goal is to write a 100% grammatically correct sentence that gets the meaning across. It's all about playing defense and not giving away easy points. And here's how you do it. It's a simple checklist. Step 1, find the main verb and lock in the correct tense. Step 2, check every single noun. Is it singular or plural? This is where most mistakes happen. Step 3, stick to sentence structures you know inside and out. Don't experiment. And finally, read your sentence to yourself. You'll often hear a mistake that your eyes missed. Phew, okay, we've covered a lot of ground. From tiny little words to big passages, and all the way back down to crafting a single, perfect sentence. So what does this all boil down to? What's the crucial point? Here it is. This is your battle plan. For word power, focus on the words that matter most and how they're really used. For reading power, shift from just translating to strategically searching. For writing power, play defense. Be correct, not complex. The big idea is this. On test day, you need to be a strategic test taker, not just a student learning English. So there you have it. You've got the map, you've got the strategies, and you've got the whole toolkit. The only question left is, what's your action plan for that high score?